Hi, this is Jason Taylor with the Law Office of Jason E. Taylor. I've been looking at Facebook here, which is, I think, perhaps a mistake, but I made that mistake, and I looked, and I see all kinds of silly, absurd comments out there from both the Republicans and the Democrats, talking things like the government giving money to people and talking about whether this is socialism from a Republican perspective and a Democrat perspective, from both sides. And I think both arguments are ignorant, foolish, and only come from simple-minded people. And that would be you if you posted it. And if you're insulted, I'm sorry, you should be. This virus is a pandemic, and it is everywhere, and it affects all kinds of people, young and old, mostly old, those with some pre-existing ailments, and everybody needs to come together and help. And the absurdity of some of the statements, it just blows my mind. The fact that the government is issuing checks for people is neither a socialistic idea or a capitalistic idea. It is the government doing what the people should be doing, which is helping in times of need, which is where we're at. I was reminded as I started to read these posts and steam started to come out through my ears of Thomas Paine, who was a great writer, philanthropist, educator of our historical time. He wrote during the Revolutionary period, and he wrote a pamphlet during the Revolutionary War called The American Crisis. And I went and I printed it off, and it's talking about the war with England, but if you kind of replace some of this with the war with the virus, it might say something. So I'm going to share part of this, and hopefully some of this resonates, and the fools who keep saying foolish things perhaps will shut their mouths and just pray and hope and help others. Okay? So December 23rd, 1776, Thomas Paine wrote, "These are the times that try men's souls. The summer soldier and the sunshine patriot will, in this crisis, shrink from the service of their country, but he that stands by it now deserves the love and thanks of man and woman. Tyranny, like hell, is not easily conquered. Yet we have this consolation with us, that the harder the conflict, the more glorious the triumph. What we obtain too cheap, we esteem too lightly. It is the dearness only that gives everything its value. Heaven knows how to put a proper price upon its goods, and it will be strange indeed if so celestial an article as freedom should not be highly rated. Britain, with an army to enforce her tyranny, has declared that she has a right, not only to tax, but to, quote, to bind us in all cases whatsoever. And if the being bound in that manner is not slavery, then there's not such a thing as slavery upon earth. For so unlimited a power can belong only to God. Whether the independence of the continent was declared too soon or delayed too long, I will not now enter into as an argument. My own simple opinion is that had it been 8 months earlier, it would have been much better. We did not make a proper use of last winter, neither could we while we were in a dependent state. However, the fault, if it were one, was all our own. We have no one to blame but ourselves, but no great deal is lost yet." So he's talking about this battle with England, and perhaps we should have gotten into it sooner, but we're fighting over freedom, and it's important, and we need to rise up, and we need to come together, and we need to not cast blame, and we just need to do it. And while we're behind, and we should have maybe, in some opinions, been on it sooner, we don't need to get into that debate. We just need to do it now, okay? So I recommend, it's good reading, The American Crisis. He wrote a number of other great things. Common Sense might be a good one for some of you to read, particularly Facebook posters. Go to Thomas Paine, Common Sense, might learn something. I wish you all well. I look forward to hearing the negative and positive feedback. I'm sure I'll get both. Thanks so much. Take care.